If yesterday was any indication of what today is going to be like, you're in for an absolute treat. Day number 2 of the 2022 Minto Cup Championship is just about to go underway here at the CA Centre in beautiful Brampton, Ontario. My name's Pat Gregor, joined by Matthew Carrick, and of course our rinkside reporter Jonathan Donville. We're in for 2 great games. On the one side you have the Toronto Beaches, who picked up their first win of the tournament in overtime. On the flip side, it was heartbreak for the Miners as they fell in the nightcap to the Whitby Warriors. But we're going to start with the Victoria Beaches.
Yeah, got it to overtime after a big first period run, and there you see Willem Firth getting the first of what would be 2 goals in the overtime period. And how about Greg Palmer? We talked yesterday about the lesser guys that you wouldn't necessarily expect to step up in big moments, and it's Palmer that ices the 9-7 win to get Beaches off on the right foot yesterday.
On the flip side, it was the Miners. They grinded and really asserted themselves as a team that is going to be able to compete, but unfortunately they fell short in overtime against the Ontario champs.
Yeah, they did, but this man right here was an absolute problem yesterday. Matthew Gauthier arriving on the scene, but 3 goals for the Warriors in that overtime frame, including the empty netter you just saw. Puts them up 1-0. It's not a must-win until it's a must-win, but this feels like one for the Edmonton Miners here this morning.
Certainly, there's a lot of pressure for them. You don't want to go down 0-2, but for the Beaches, you want to keep that momentum going. And if you like slow, boring lacrosse, change the channel, because both these teams love to play fast and furious. We are looking forward to an unbelievable game between these 2 teams here, Matt. These 2 goalies expect a ton of saves between both of them. Will Johnston last night was tremendous.
He absolutely was, and he's been tremendous for the last 2 years, as we talked about, starting with the bubble season last year, and just a stalwart at the back end, and that really helps that Beaches defense. They have the confidence to be able to take off running, knowing that the rebound's going to be in his stick, and they can turn it into offense the other way.
On the flip side, for the Miners, the man who stole the show last night, Keegan Melanchuk, was outstanding. 60-plus saves in that losing effort. He really settled this Miners team down when they were facing a ton of penalty kills. He was really the backbone. He's going to have to be great here tonight if they want to come out and even up their record here in this tournament.
Yeah, he faced over 70 shots last night, including that overtime period, and earned himself the Player of the Game nominations. They're going to need him to be strong again today if they want that first win.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. We're going to go to commercial break, but when we come back, it'll be opening face-off of game number 1 on day 2 of the Minto Cup Championship here on TSN. Back inside the CAA Centre here for the 2022 Minto Cup Championship. Matt, one theme with all 4 teams here: elite coaching, and for these 2 teams, both guys that are still playing in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, veteran presences behind the bench. It's interesting with Riley O'Connor. When we interviewed a lot of the coaches going around the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League this year, they said, our goal is the Minto Cup. It's in Ontario. We want to be there. He said, our goal is to grow as a team, and they're the one that are here. along with Whitby for Ontario, but as well as the Edmonton Miners coming out of the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League.
Yeah, John Lynn's had a great conversation with him earlier in the week, and you said the word intense. That is the perfect way to describe him, not just as a player, but a coach. Just very serious, takes his job very, very seriously. And we know for a fact, once his playing career is done, this guy is going to find his way back onto a bench in the National Lacrosse League at some point.
Well, not just intense, but a lot of the players say motivating as well. He gets the best out of the players and the best out of the team as a whole. And yeah, there's no surprise that they're here and they are as good as they were last night and hoping for more here today.
Speaking of good at your craft, both these face-off specialists certainly will be up to the challenge here as Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre and Reese Barnes go at it, but it's Barnes who wins the first face-off for the Miners. And the Miners going to start things off on the offensive possession. Expect a lot of pace between these two teams, not just in transition, but on defense and, of course, on offense as well, as Will Johnson makes the first stop. Almost trickles through, but he's able to get it and get the ball up to Jackson Raposo. Jacob Hickey starts with the ball at the top, passes that over to Matthew Collison, over to Anderson, down to the crease to the RIT product, Clifford Gaston. As that shot from Willem Firth, one of the overtime heroes from yesterday's game, had 6 points, was named the MVP of that game. And here come the Miners. They'll come fast and furious as pushes the ball up the floor. And again, Harland, one of the Beaches defender. Look at this pressure from the Beaches. They love to dictate pace, and that's what they're doing on the defensive end right now. Callan Harris, who had a couple of beauties yesterday, drives to the net, takes that shot, and that one's turned away by Johnston. Harris with it. Ball on the near side boards. Working around, there's an outside shot. Again, Will Johnson picking up where he left off. Let's send it down to Jonathan Donville, our ringside reporter. Jonathan.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see if the pressure for Beaches is just a tone setter here for the first few minutes, or if they stick with it. But Coach O'Connor on the bench, you can hear him probably on the broadcast. Up, 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 get out, play the ball. They want to use their athleticism. Again, not sure they'll stick with it the whole game, but definitely trying to set a good pace here and set the tone as well, getting their team into this game early.
Anderson with an outside shot that just goes wide of the net. 6 seconds on the shot clock, but the Miners will pick up the loose ball, and up and out they go once again. This is Reese Barnes, the face-off specialist, but he can play some defense as well. Shot from the outside again, Johnson.
I was going to make the point on his first save, and you kind of know what game Johnson's going to have with his first couple shots, and today, 2 out of the first 3 end up where he's not really sure where it is in the feet. I don't know if the Miners picked up on that through some of our seasonal broadcasts or not, but definitely something they're coming out with today.
Johnston certainly a goalie that when his confidence is high, he's real tough to beat. And so is Keegan Melanchuk, who had 60-plus saves in that game last night. We are in for a treat when it comes to the goaltending battle. A little bit of a broken play as the ball goes down now in the corner. We have a loose ball battle. The Miners pick it up. And Jackson Raposo almost goes for a pick 6 there. Ball now corralled by the Miners. Outside shot. That one's taken by Jake Bowen. And that one does not go on net, so the Beaches have another successful defensive stand. Gaston going to start with the ball on the near side boards. Gaston looks, decided not to take it, instead throws it over the lefties. Collison, the big body, 3 goals yesterday. Goes through, takes that outside look, and Collison's one of those players, Jonathan, you mentioned would be an X factor for the Beaches. He certainly was that last night. Accioni playing some tough defense on Harris. Harris takes it down low. This is his hot spot. Loves those crease dives. Put on a show last night here for the Miners. Miners really trying to stretch out this aggressive Beaches defense. We'll see if they can get anything going here. 5 seconds left on the clock. Pass to the middle, nothing coming of it, and here come the Beaches, fast and furious. Accioni with it now, feeds the quick stick to his brother. They can't connect, but it's Willem Firth who has the ball. He's going to slow things down, giving Jonathan Donville a chance to speak here.
Yeah, guys, it might sound a little silly here, but I think an interesting thing to note is just with Edmonton playing the later game last night, getting back to the hotel room a lot later, it may not seem like much of a difference because they both played yesterday, but I think that's a big advantage to the Beaches. They got to bed earlier, had a more normal night. We'll see if that's has an impact here. Maybe slightly fresher legs here for Beaches.
Great point there, Jonathan. I know the Beaches were in the building. They watched the game, but as soon as it was done, they headed out, made sure they were back.
But they're in the building already changed and showered,
exactly.
and they've probably had some...
Raposo! Wow! An unbelievable chance there for Jackson Raposo, who kisses the bar. And Melanchuk might be kissing it later as he got lucky there. That one was destined for the corner. Firth, tightly contested. Over to Collison, bad angle shot, nothing coming of there. Both defenses certainly dialed early on, as we haven't seen many quality scoring chances from either of these offenses. Gauthier, one of the fan favorites from last night. We'll see what he can do here.
Broadcasters' favorites too.
That's no doubt about that. Outside shot, big stop there by Johnston. That's probably one of the more confident saves we've seen from him. And it's a turnover here by the Beaches. But Bowen decides to slow things down. Instead finds the middle. That one, I think, goes off the post.
Yeah, it looked like another ball that finds iron here early on.
Liam McKay gets that over half. Throws that bounce pass to Anderson. Anderson has some daylight here. We've seen him score some beauties, but a great pick there from the Miners, and off to the races they go.
How many is that early already for the Miners? Active sticks in the shooting lanes. They know that the Beaches like to go east-west across the floor to set up their offense.
There's another post again. Callan Harris unable to find Twine there. Raposo, here we go. He's already got one shot. We'll see if he can score here, and he's denied once again. Back and forth we go. These two teams love playing fast. Kalen Mander gets that over to Gauthier. Matthew Gauthier.
Take the first shot.
As the Miners will work things around here. A little two-man game. That one is still able to go off the body of Johnston, so there will be a reset. A couple of high hits there, nothing being called. As Matt Accioni, the captain, will bring things up. The University of Delaware product. Gets that over to Palmer. Palmer, 2 goals yesterday for the Beaches. Over to Hickey. Hickey down to that corner to Firth. Firth comes around the top. He's got some space, takes the shot. And again, another save by Melanchuk. We'll see if the Miners can turn this into transition. Great play by Firth there to avoid anything coming from the Miners. And 4 Beaches jerseys almost swarm there, but a great play by Reese Barnes to get it into safe territory.
Yeah, Connor Cook as well, because he absolutely ate the shot initially and then immediately went after that loose ball. Didn't get it, but tied it up long enough for help to arrive.
Gauthier back over to the far side as that one's denied by Johnston, and here comes Dooley. No numbers yet, 2-on-2. Dooley finds the trailer to Raposo. Raposo, bouncer. Crafty shot there from Raposo. It's going to be back over, so the Beach is going to have an opportunity here for maybe some settled offense. Don't know if these guys know what that is, because every time there's some sort of numbers, immediately taking to the cage. Fast pace indeed here at the CAA Center. Firth with a quick stick there from the outside. That one's going to be over and back, though.
I've been watching him the last couple of possessions to see how the Miners set up against Willem Firth, and he's just getting lost in their coverage right now as they set up in the zone. He takes a couple steps back in the corner and then a few straight to his left, and he's been wide open the last 2 sets.
Luke Bowen plays a little pass and catch with his brother, and then another great stick save. Rebound comes back out to the Miners, and they're going to set things up. It's Gauthier setting that hard pick, trying to free up some space. Shot from the outside, turned aside there from Johnston. Dalton not able to pick it up, and again another big stop on the crease. Safe to say these goaltenders are picking up where they left off. Both of them superb last night here at the CAA Center.
Shooter had to double clutch a little bit, which got Johnson a chance to go off to his right, but Andy Dalton really leadership presence on that defensive set, calling out a couple plays there with Peterkin and ended up getting the ball as a result too.
Dalton was tremendous last night. A bunch of block shots, some caused turnovers. Accioni in alone and scores. What a find from Matt Cullison. I think he passed that one from Ted Riverina as the Beaches have a 1-0 lead.
I didn't think they were allowed back in there, but anyways, long pass from up top, and Jonathan Donville's been all over Collison here in this tournament, saying that he needs to be one of the guys, and look at this, chasing it down. I think this is late in the shot clock. It's close to the over and back. He's in full desperation mode, and keep your eye in front of the crease because everybody pushes up. Accioni goes to the crease and turns and fires. He's in the right spot at the right time, but good awareness from Collison, even when kind of in that panic mode starts to set in when you're close to both violations being called at the same time.
And that play is just a absolute head scratcher. If you're a defensive coach, everyone rushing up floor, not paying attention to what's left on the floor. Obviously, Accioni finds a weak spot in the floor, gets out in front of the net, and makes a great play to give the Beaches the first goal and the first lead of the game. Gauthier goes beast mode, picks up that loose ball, and I was just going to say gets it to safe space, but when the Beaches are on the floor, it seems like they swarm to that ball immediately. Smith to the outside and scores! The captain, Bennett Smith. We saw he was an absolute menace in the defensive zone last night. Here tonight, getting involved in the scoring.
Yeah, he's another guy who can step up for them, and really good leader in that practice that I watched yesterday too. But here's the thing for the Miners, all throughout that game yesterday just did not go away, would not go away. Not allowing their opponents to get that big run that we expect from Whitby and maybe from Toronto as well. And here they get another answer. They actually had a couple leads in yesterday's game too before taking it to overtime, and that's a good sign from this game here.
Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre picks up the loose ball, and a little bit of time here to throw down to Jonathan Donville. Jonathan.
Yeah, guys, Smith, one of the many Queens University of Charlotte guys we talked about yesterday. That school is actually coached by Chris Panos. Played at Hofstra, won 3-man clubs, also a longtime player in the NLL, won an NLL championship, so a lot of box familiarity there, and 8 players in this Minto Cup for Queens University of Charlotte.
Maybe one of the uglier goals we've seen Anderson score this season, but they all count the same as that one comes at a great time. It's a bounce back goal for the Beaches.
Well, you said it in the Ontario final. He doesn't know how to score a regular goal. And this is another one. This is just going to sneak, unfortunately, through the legs of Melanchuk. He wants to look at the replay there, and this will be a good look. Anderson, we've been waiting for him to score that one with guys hanging off him, and this is just a shot that gets, again, lost in the feet there of Melnichuk. Unfortunately, after, of course, that big performance last night.
Haudenosaunee under 21, and Phoenix Lefebvre takes it to the net. Shot from Firth goes well wide. And we might have a chance here for Gauthier. He's not able to hold on to that loose ball.
Patty, you're bearing the lead. David Anderson is the grandson of Gaylord Powless as well.
That he is indeed, why he wears the number 15, and we'll talk about that later this week. But here comes Peterkin. He's got numbers. Peterkin with the outside shot, bouncers turned aside by Melanchuk as he's able to shake that last one off and come back with that bounce back save, something that you absolutely love to see if you're on the bench and your goalie bounce backs. Hudson shivers off a defender there. Harris back over to the far side. That's to Bowen over to the corner. Outside shot. That one's blocked as Marcus Needham's not able to get that through. And once again, here come the Beaches. It's Harland. Harland Little shovel pass, tries to find Raposo. He can't. But Raposo still battles for that loose ball. Somehow he picks it up. Now he drops it.
I was watching Bennett Smith this entire way, and he's going to go off here as him and Raposo battled up and down the floor twice. And this is the end of a 90-second shift for Bennett Smith.
And I tell you, I was supremely impressed with Bennett Smith last night. The one thing I think you could maybe have a knock on him, he does toe that line a little bit, but good here that he also takes Jackson Raposo with him. So we're going to stay here even, nothing, no harm done, no foul, and depending who you talk to, that might be an all right trade-off to how good we've seen Raposo play, but Bennett Smith is an X factor as well. Anderson over to Collison. Collison with the outside shot. He picks up his own rebound, but it's actually Firth who's going to grab the ball off the carpet. Firth still with it now, one hand on his stick, over to Palmer. Palmer doing some window shopping. Firth on his wrong side, over to Collison. Collison with a skipper, and again, a big save there by Melanchuk. Kalen Mander is the one who brings that one over as Gauthier now over to the far side to Bowen. Bowen down low. Shot from the outside. That one's turned away as Jack Royer is not able to beat Johnston. Caden Hewitt gets it over. Center into safe space. 7:30 to go. The Beaches hold a 2-1 lead here over the Miners. Anderson looking. He's got the hot stick so far right now. Hickey, outside shot. That one was destined for the top right corner, but Melanchuk makes the save. Here's a chance here for the Miners. Jackson Ganton's not able to hold on to that ball.
I talked to Ganton yesterday in a feature that will come up at intermission here coming up in this game.
Callan Harris on an island with Chris Harland. We saw him create some magic last night against the Warriors in that loss. Gauthier, one hand on the stick. He gets hit hard to the turf. I didn't think the bowling ball could get knocked over. And it looks like Dalton is going to head to the box here.
Speaking of getting knocked over, him and I think is that Jack Royer got tangled up as we get goalie water break here as well. Well, not tangled up, never mind. Dalton just gave him a two-hand cross check. Sent him flying on the way to the box, which now puts two guys in the penalty box here for the Beaches, Dalton and Raposo, which are two stalwarts in the back end, guys who push transition. And it was the problem for the Miners at the beginning of the game yesterday, was the penalty situation, but now the Beaches need to perhaps rein it in here a little bit.
Yeah, the Miners certainly got into some penalty trouble yesterday, but they were able to figure things out. The penalty kill was tremendous.
Pair of 5-on-3s in the opening period that resulted in nothing for the Whitby Warriors.
A big case because of that netminder Melanchuk, and I think a big reason why the Beaches PK was so solid this year was because 31 in blue there. And that is a costly turnover as we'll have a breakaway here. And he redeems himself with a big save, but the Miners are going to pick up that loose ball as Matthew McFadden was able to capitalize on that turnover. And again, Dalton, Raposo, both guys that are normally out on the penalty kill. One of the 4 or 5 guys that are usually on that first unit, but both of them sitting in the sin bin. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. They got to get something going here. That's an outside shot from Royer. And again, right into the stick of Johnston. Robinson gets that over center, over to Hickey. 50 seconds remaining in that penalty.
Miners just got away with too many men.
Yep. Hickey over to Firth. Firth not able to corral that ball. Still battling for it. Now the ball's going to be picked up there by Hudson's Shivers. Shivers still with it, getting hard check by Dooley.
Oh, man, Riley O'Connor giving it to Blair Ferguson on his way up the floor.
With that being said, Jeremy Bailey, Riley Lowe, and Blair Ferguson, your officials for today. Leigh Hartung is also in the box for today. Jonathan, I think you have something on the situation down there.
Yeah, guys, Edmonton just got a break there. They had 6 players on the floor for about 10 seconds. That's why the Beaches bench was so upset. Really just a missed call by the officials there. They for sure had 6 on the floor for a while. Break for Edmonton, and obviously Beach is upset with the no call.
Yeah, Riley O'Connor was all the way up on the dasher trying to get the officials' attention there, but they've killed off their penalty, and we'll see what can be done here. Excuse me, going back 5-on-5.
Successful kill there for the Beaches, so 5-on-5 will go. 4:30 to go here with just 3 seconds on the shot clock. They need something here, and they're not going to get a shot off there. As the Miners
want a penalty, as that was definitely after the shot clock.
Don't know if he actually got a shot off
or just the momentum of the ball as he was falling.
Regardless, I think there is a case to be made, but nothing being done there, so the Miners are going to have a chance.
Remember back to yesterday, too, when Gaston was called for kind of a very at-the-whistle one.
Here come the Beaches with speed, as they always do, as Cam Accioni over to Anderson. Anderson with a full head of steam, takes the shot and scores! Good news if you're a Beaches fan. David Anderson, he's starting to heat up.
Well, he's been heating up this entire tournament, but this is the part of his game that I love and doesn't get noticed as much, because he does have a set of wheels for all the tough action that we're used to seeing on social media. Of course, it gets a lot of buzz, but he can also do this, grab the ball and find a seam. It starts with the big fake from outside and then just beats his man across the corner and will take the shot. And that makes it 3-1 here for the Beaches.
Beaches with the lead 3-1 with just under 4 minutes to go. Not too sure if these stats are fully accurate, but it says 19 shots on goal for the Miners, just 9 for the Beaches. I definitely think the Miners have an edge here, but I did not think the discrepancy was that large. As Raposo takes a shot, it goes wide. So they'll have to wait to hit double digits on shots here, as it says on our score sheet. Gaston with the outside shot tries to squeak that one by Melanchuk, but nothing being done there. And again, once again, Captain Bennett Smith going to sit down.
He was in the box twice in yesterday's game too, and I didn't see what happened, but it was a mix-up with another player, and it's going to be called a cross-check. So when you talk about veteran leadership, and you talk about, you know, trying to keep your team in a game, I think, you know, Smith is one of those players, perhaps, to rein it back in here a few steps.
You see there the cross-check on Willem Firth, and again, the 3-man crew. And as we're finishing watching there, Matthew Collison gets on the scoreboard and increases this lead to 4-1.
I mean, this power play, the ball could come from anywhere, and you expect it to come from Willem Firth. But if you keep your eye on him here in this replay, he doesn't really... I mean, he's up top, and the ball never even gets there. So there's no one really down by the crease, and with so many guys high, that I think may have blocked the shot a little bit there from Melnichuk being able to see it. And one of those looks that when Firth is up top, you expect the ball to get there quickly, and when it doesn't come, you can sneak that quick, dangerous shot from a guy like Collison.
I know John Lentz has watched a ton of film on the Beaches, and still, you can do so much game planning, but sometimes, and what an effort there by Gauthier. He's not able to get anything done there, but nonetheless a great effort as he trucked through about 4 blue shirts before getting to the corner there. But as I was saying, there's only so much you can do as a coach. You can do all your film, but sometimes the other players on the other teams just make big plays, and that's exactly what happened with Collison there. Collison, another shot from the outside. As Firth, great loose ball there from Firth. A gritty play from one of your superstar forwards. file that under things you love to see. Palmer with some space, takes the skipper. That one doesn't sink though. Loose ball still down on the turf. Firth almost picks that up. And it's gonna be the Miners who grab it. Great cross floor pass there as it ends up in the stick of Charlie McFadden. Again, Beaches all over as this is Hickey here with Robinson. 14 seconds left on the clock as Gauthier now brings it down. And the Miners still don't have their full offense out there just yet. Loose ball down on the floor as Caden Hewitt, the rookie defender, picks that up and just gonna wait for his offense to get out there.
Caden Hewitt doesn't touch the floor a lot, but every time he does some little tiny thing that's just really impressive, especially as a young player.
Shot from the outside from Collison goes wide, and I certainly agree with that sentiment. Caden Hewitt started the year off. The West Durham Junior B Ironheads worked his way similar to Robinson, who I mentioned yesterday, and got called up and just played so well. Riley O'Connor and this coaching staff said there's no way we can keep him out of the lineup.
That's one on the drink counter, by the way.
I'll take it. Outside shot turned aside as Johnston once again with another stick save over to Raposo, in and out.
Surprised it took 19 minutes, to be quite honest, but
I was trying to be on my best behavior, but again, Caden Hewitt, a promising young defender for this Beaches team. Firth with it now. Takes the shot from the outside. That one goes wide. Anderson's going to pick it up with 10 seconds. That heavy shot misses net there. As 5 seconds, Palmer is going to shoot that one from the outside. Nothing coming there as
he was headed for the bench and the ball just showed up at his feet.
And it looks like Blair Ferguson's going to take a couple of players here, as it's going to be Ronan Push and Willem Firth. I think that's a trade-off that the Miners are willing to take. And no offense to Push, he's a fine young defender, but when you can get one of the most dynamic players in the country off the floor, you'll take it any day of the week. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But nonetheless, 30.9 seconds left here in the first. The shot clock is no longer a factor, so the Miners will try to cut into this lead that the Beaches currently hold to a score of 4-1. Shot clock now up as it's 0.9 seconds in between, almost a full second.
They don't have a ball.
You can't play the game without a ball as Marcus Needham puts his hands up.
And now at 28.9, we lost a few ticks.
Yeah, now the shot clock will not be a factor.
And I don't think anyone realized it.
Nope.
So it could be a break for the Miners there with Melnichuk on the bench.
They're going to wait here.
Now there's a lot of sticks going on right in front of Will Johnson.
Gauthier taking a beating like he normally does. Shot coming from the outside. No, it doesn't. That's a great trail check from Taylor Dooley, and time is going to expire. As Gauthier takes a liberty on Raposo as the time expired, so I think we're going to have...
Yeah, Gauthier's going to the box for sure, coming in late here on Raposo, who did get up and is headed off the floor. He got a lot of attention in the game yesterday as well, as the officials discuss what they're going to do here with Gauthier. And watch him come in late and gets upstairs on Raposo. Two minutes for rough is going to be the call when we come back outside of the timeout.
The Beaches will be on the power play to start the second period. They'll also hold a 4-1 lead here from the CAA Center. Come back for second period action here on TSN and the OJLL YouTube channel.
On our family dairy farm, there's a saying that the sun doesn't start the day, we do. It's our daily reminder to be our best, make our best. And that our dairy farm doesn't just take care of our family, it's part of something bigger. That's dairy done right.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
The Minto Cup is awarded annually to the Canadian Men's Box Junior Champions of Canada. But did you also know that the Minto Cup is one of the oldest trophies in the history of Canadian sports? The Minto Cup was originally donated in 1901 by the 4th Earl of Minto. The championship was restricted to amateur athletes, but soon enough, under-the-table professional teams were making their run for the cup. There were countless efforts to restrict the Minto Cup to only amateur athletes, but after 1904, this cup was up for grabs for all who chose to compete for it. They then decided that in 1910, the Man Cup would be given to the champions of the Amateur League, and the Minto would still be awarded to the winners of the Professional League. Finally, in 1924, when the Coast Professional League folded, the Minto Cup was placed into storage. After 12 long years of inactivity, the Canadian Lacrosse Association decided to revive the Minto Cup Championship, but this time award it to the Junior Champions of Canada. However, they did face a hurdle as they could not find where the Minto Cup trophy was kept. So stay tuned for more on the history of the Minto Cup.
I'm Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre, number 8 for the Toronto Beaches, and I go to Mercyhurst University. Well, first of all, just to be here with be one of the 4 best teams in the country, be a part of those players is a big thing, and to have the team that's competitive enough to actually have a chance to win is also amazing to see. Coming from an organization that was never really good for so many years, and that we're now able to actually get here and have a good chance to win is something we're looking forward to. For him to be a younger coach that still plays, he's still in that mindset of that competitiveness and everything. He understands what he's asking from us, right? They're pushing us all the way to the end. They want us to do the best we can. So I think he does a good job with the assistant coaches, and the intensity always very high in practices and stuff like that. So I think we're well prepared. Second year Bantam, because I guess my team just didn't have any face-off guys, and I was like, might as well just start taking them for fun. And then I loved it right away, so I just started working on it, and then it started in box, then went to start taking face-offs for field, and now I'm here with Junior A taking face-offs. So we have about a few hundred players in the whole province. We don't really have a rep league. It's more of a house all around. Kind of all the players get together at every level, and then we get teams going on and stuff. In my later years, midget years, we were able to get a team in the OJLL and to play a full season there. So that was fun, which is how myself and a couple other Quebec kids were able to become Junior A players and get drafted here. We were able to play as midget players, AP, for our junior C team that was participating in there, and it was great, right? A whole new level of lacrosse, way better than we were used to play back in our province. So that was amazing, and also just get to play lacrosse in general, right? That was fun. So. Je voudrais dire merci à toutes les personnes au Québec qui s'occupent de la crosse. Je sais que c'est difficile avec le COVID et tout, ça l'a un peu descendu, je dirais, mais merci pour tout ce que vous faites. On serait pas ici sans vous. Puis continuez, puis on va essayer de revenir puis vous aider. I'll be here for an hour, it's fine, you guys can.
Welcome back inside the CAA Center for the 2022 Minto Cup. We're on game number 1 of day number 2. The Toronto Beaches hold a 4-1 lead. And Matt, let's take a look how we got here.
Well, we got here first with some good saves from Will Johnson, as the first couple kind of looked like they were going to sneak through. Then late in the shot clock, bit of a scrambled play. Cam Accioni is going to capitalize there for the Beaches. Bennett Smith only about a minute later, though, he rips one from the restraining line. Then it turned into the David Anderson highlight reel halfway through the period. There's a first outside shot that kind of sneaks through. Will Johnson back to his old tricks, the player of the game from last night, as Anderson then in transition after showing off the outside shot. And Matt Collison, he'll get this rip on the power play. And the Beaches will start on the power play again with that Gauthier high stick, but with no Willem Firth on the floor, as he's still serving the back half of his offsetting minor with Ronan Push.
The Beaches will start on the power play and a 4-1 lead. And I had a conversation with Mike McKay, one of the assistant coaches, and he said the one thing this Beaches team has struggled with this year is that killer instinct, able to not allow teams to get back into the game. This is where his coaching staff and him can challenge this team and not allow the Miners to get back into this game. A good push would be a power play marker here. The Beaches win the draw as Phoenix Lefebvre continues his dominance here at this tournament. Little hidden ball trick doesn't work as Accioni is going to start at the top. Collison waits, finds Hickey. Collison still looking. Accioni in the middle, but that pass is picked off here from the Miners as Shivers finds the captain Smith. Smith goes bar and out. Almost a beauty in transition. Shivers still somehow picks up that loose ball, and here comes Accioni. Accioni waits, looks to see, takes that little push shot as Robinson grabs the loose ball. He's going to settle things down now and get that over to Collison. Huge, 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 huge. As you mentioned, Firth in the box. So the power play specialist, the guy who's used to setting things up, as Collison rips that shot from the outside. But Matthew McFadden picks up the loose ball, and off to the races he goes, slowing things down.
Well, Jonathan might be better able to speak to it, I don't know, but Willem Firth, I mean, every power play that they've got in the playbook probably has something with Willem Firth drawn into it, and with him off the floor, Jonathan, we'll get there in a second, but just wondering what the difference is in the playbook with Willem Firth out of the power play, because I think that would take a few pages out of it for sure. And short-handed marker back the other way for the Miners.
Marcus Needham needed one there for the Miners as they score on the short-handed opportunity and cut this lead back to 2.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a one-on-one play here up top where his man cuts through 2 defenders, and the one-on-one opens that middle space of the floor for this wide launch. And now, Jonathan, I don't know if you can speak to that power play playbook, but yeah, your thoughts with Willem Firth in the box here.
Yeah, it obviously cuts down the playbook a ton. It probably you're just going to play. You're not going to run a play at all. But quickly, just on Needham. Needham attends Embry-Riddle University, which is in Daytona Beach, Florida. It is an aeronautical and aerospace engineering university. He's a civil engineer. I loved my college experience, but I think Marcus Needham is doing it better than I did and better than all the rest of us. Daytona Beach engineering, he's got it all going on, and a nice goal there at the Minto Cup to boot.
Not bad at all.
One day things might work out for the young man.
If lacrosse doesn't work out, or even if it does. Hickey with the shot there from the inside. And we talked about this. These Alberta boys are smart. Cold. No, not doing that again. I'm going down south. I'm playing somewhere warm. So the Miners here back to 5-on-5. That is a massive kill. Inside feed behind the back and scores. Luke Bowen. Number 99 showing off some greatness with a highlight reel beauty.
And to think one of the three of us last night were criticizing the fact that he's got those 2 numbers on the back of his jersey. Look at the over the shoulders. He cuts in front. Johnson nearly gets a piece of this, but again, it starts with a cross floor feed, getting Johnson to start the move. And as he's moving to his right, ball comes back left, and that's just a little bit too much back and forth for Johnson to handle as it opens up. But how about the finish? And now 2 quick ones here in the period. And all of a sudden, man, this gritty Miners squad just back into it.
The Miners, that's the perfect way to describe this group. Gritty and a ton of resiliency. You knew there was going to be that pushback, but again, the Beaches, the coaching staff challenging this team to have that killer instinct. Now you look at the score, your lead just to 1. We'll see if they have that counter punch. They're going to have to start. They're going to actually have to start on the penalty kill as we have a delayed penalty here. So a glorious opportunity shot from the outside, easily turned aside there as Markham Needham looked for his second. Well, once again, Beach is going to have to kill one off as Jackson Raposo is going to sit down for 2 or less.
Well, and again, another player who is a big force on the penalty kill, especially in transition. And Jonathan Donville is going to talk more about this Miners power play.
Yeah, guys, Coach Lynch was really riding the refs there on the at the intermission, clearly aware of the penalty differential in yesterday's game, bringing that up quite a few times. Penalty differential in the first period as well. Obviously looking for some more power plays. Expect this thing to be called pretty tightly here, with both coaches riding the refs pretty hard.
Pulling the old Nick Nurse playbook.
Ball in the corner as Taylor Dooley ties up his man. A couple of big bodies crashing there. Loose ball comes to the middle of the floor. But it's Ferry who's going to pick up the loose ball. He had a great game yesterday. A little bit quieter here. We'll see if he can make some noise. Ferry rolls that one over to Dooley. Ferry was one of those Team Canada members, a standout in the field game down at Loyola University. That little nifty pass from Anderson could not find Palmer. Palmer committed to St. Leo University. You want to talk about some more Florida schools? That's certainly one in the Division II ranks that has been climbing up the ranks as a powerhouse. Outside shot, a little bit of a change up there from Jack Royer. Outside shot, no change up there as that one's a bullet from the outside from Callan Harris, and we're going to get a delayed penalty now here from the Miners. Phoenix Lefebvre rolls off his man. Going to be almost over and back, but somehow Collison off the bench there is Willem Firth. Extra attacker on the floor. Takes the shot and scores. As that's a hat trick for Anderson. The Beaches improve their lead to 5-3.
And shorties on both sides now of the ledger as, again, you see all that wide open space. I was kind of wondering how far down in the penalty time that the Beaches were going to take this here. They couldn't get all the way out of the penalty kill with the shot clock that they had, so you knew the shot was going to come, but I mean, the left side is so dangerous for the Beaches offense. Every time it comes from the righties, it almost seems like a surprise, and it looked like the Miners weren't ready for it there.
No doubt about that, and you can see just giving too much space to Anderson, but as a defender with a guy that's so big and fast, you don't want to play too aggressive and overcommit.
Yeah, well, you saw that earlier in the game. He'll just beat you one-on-one.
And at the same time, though, you don't want to give him space because we know how well he can shoot the ball. He puts defenders in a mental pretzel.
Which is why it's kind of unfair having to play against, you know, lefties who can do this and Anderson who can do that over on the right side.
4 seconds on the clock. Firth trying to make some magic as he goes behind the back and it goes wide. So the Miners going to get a chance here, 5-on-5. Try to chip away at this Beaches lead. Again, want to thank everyone for tuning in on tsn.ca, TSN Direct, and of course the OJLL YouTube page. Outside shot. Another shot in the 5-hole that's turned away by Johnson. Again, don't know if this is on the scout to try to beat Johnson through the wickets, but in the last 24 hours, it certainly hasn't worked as he's really dialed in that spoon. Hickey. Jonathan, you're a guy that did some fair scouting in your playing days.
Good stick.
Does sometimes a scout sometimes get into your head a little bit too much?
I personally think so. I've never been a big pre-scout guy, but in box, you just get so many shots. You start to kind of have almost a rapport with the goalie. You know, if you're shooting 10, 12 times a game. But just to pick up on what you were saying, standing beside the benches, getting it down by the feet certainly seems to be the focus among the coaching staff, trying to get it down on Johnston towards the 5-hole and towards the feet. So expect to see a lot of that from Edmonton here.
Keep your eyes on that as Collison nearly puts a hole through the boards. That guy has a heavy shot. We've seen him do that in the OJLL. We're going to be seeing him do it for the remainder of his career, whether it's at Johns Hopkins University where he's committed to, and I imagine he'll be hearing his name called in the NLL in a few years once he's draft eligible. Won't be for a while though, as he's still not even down at school. Remarkable, the young talent. Outside shot. As the latest Miners goal scorer will have another chance. Skip pass,
oh my
and that
goodness.
Is a beautiful example of perfect passing play by the Miners. Wow.
It's karaoke night for the Miners offense. Follow the bouncing ball here as it starts swinging. Everybody's going to touch it, and it starts with a great bring down of the high pass and on the crease. Great job by the scorer as well. This is going to be a good look to see if the feet are good or not, but I think they were. And man, oh man, Edmonton back within one again. It just seems like every time you think their opposition is about to run away with it, you look up at the scoreboard and go, oh, wait a second. No, never mind.
They are pesky indeed, man, and tremendous ball movement. And that's the one thing about this team. Outside shot goes wide. That's going to be over and back. We talk about the athleticism. We talk about the grittiness, how well coached they are. I think we're underselling how skilled this team really is.
Oh, for sure.
And that play was perfect display of the talent that these guys have on offense.
Well, and that was the talk yesterday. You know, it is a high-powered offense. It is a very good defense. Melnichuk is obviously an outstanding goaltender. And, you know, everyone just kind of historically overlooks whoever it is from Alberta, whether it's Okotoks, Calgary, or the Miners this year. And they were all out to change the narrative here, and I think they did a good job yesterday and sticking with the Beach Boys here today.
The narrative is certainly changing. The Beach is trying to change their narrative as well as a team for the first time here at the Minto. Outside shot there from Palmer as he's going to have to get back in reverse transition, try to break this up, and he does. Loose ball now picked up by Dalton, who had a boatload of those yesterday. Raposo with a swim. As the Beach is wondering where the reset was there, not too sure.
Here's one for you, Pat, because Beaches have never won an Iroquois trophy. Only this year was their second ever appearance. I don't know how many teams have ever got to the Minto for their first time without ever winning a provincial championship.
Great point there. I'm sure someone in the chat or on Twitter might know if that has been the case. But you mentioned that the Beaches once before making the Ontario finals, they lost to the eventual champs in St. Catharines, Firth.
0-2, I believe.
Yes, and that was quite the strong Beaches team. Hickey with it now, swim move. He's got to take a shot here. Firth not able to get here, so another great defensive stand from this Miners group, and it's going to start with their captain, Bennett Smith. Smith still looking for his options. He gets it down low. Not a great pass, as this one's going to be a turnover, but not before some great forechecking here from the Miners. Dooley with an absolute dart to Robinson. Robinson sees some daylight. Great feed over to Palmer, and he can't hold on to it before crashing into the crease. I talked about it yesterday. Robinson played in the Ontario Hockey League, decided to focus on lacrosse, not playing in the winter anymore. He's going full board with this lacrosse, and I think he's a guy that he has a decision if he wants to enter the draft. If he does, I think he's a guy that certainly at this tournament has raised his stock. Big stop there by Johnson. That might have been his best of the game so far. And it couldn't come as a better time.
Zach Basisti right on the doorstep, and Sean Krewoken before that, a good play, just getting enough of the stick back at the other end to disrupt the Toronto Beaches shot. Wanted to make sure that that defender got his shout out as well.
Matt, you know I am always down to give praise to the grit grinders on the back end. The unsung heroes.
Well, let's just read the roster then for Miners LC.
When you're hot, you're hot. And that's certainly the case for Anderson. It's a 4 spot for 15. Beaches regain a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, just keep feeding it over there on the right side. And again, not a ton of movement happening over there. Just he pops out and there's room and kind of shoots around the defender, and right from that exact same spot on the carpet almost. They're carbon copies of each other, and yeah, it looks like Anderson's found a play that worked. We were wondering last night when he was going to break through. Well, guess what, Patty? He's done it.
He's broke through 4 goals here, and the great article on the Lax Mag from the playoffs talking about players elevating their game from the regular season to the postseason. He was ranked near the top, if not number 1, I believe. And I know a big fan of the Lax Mag, Jonathan Donville, we'll go down to him now, ringside.
Yeah, two things, guys. One, I think something Anderson's doing so well is shooting around screens. You see the goaltenders late to react on a lot of these. They'll often see those 5-hole guys shooting through the screen. And then also just picking up from the Beaches bench. I think the focus for them defensively is to pack it in here. They're not trying to get out as aggressive on the ball. They want to pack it in the paint, cross-check, make it hard for Edmonton to get to the goal. Completely different focus than the first period for Beaches defensively.
Great point there, Jonathan. We saw a lot of mix-ups and changing things up from this defensive coaching staff with Damon Edwards and Luke Magnan, but that was more on the penalty kill. Now we're seeing it on 5-on-5, and Willem Firth, you've got to be kidding me, from that far out on that side of the floor.
Wrong side. Well, it has been working out on the left side of the floor, so he goes, let me go see what this spot's all about, because Anderson's sure finding success at it.
And we'll get a perfect look here, Matt.
Yeah. Coming off the change, too, so you can see there was 2 guys up top on the defense in that little split, just a miss of communication there in the half spot, and we're going to get ourselves a goalie change here. Don't have a 1 on our roster, unfortunately.
I believe that's Jace Symington-Lysenko in between the pipes for the Miners. So,
Jonathan, I don't know if you can confirm that or not for us.
Let me work on that for a second. I'm not sure either. But I'll try to get some confirmation here about who's in the cage. I should say, though, I feel like that's more about the timeout and just settling the team down than anything Mel and Chuck did.
Well, and it's an interesting spot in the game because now up by 3 Beaches, you kind of get the sense with the way that their defense and Johnson is playing that the next one's going to be a huge goal for either side here. And really, if you're on the Miners side, you want to kind of stop that run right in its tracks.
And we've seen the Beaches go on a run. It's once again a theme for this team all along. Raposo with the outside shot. And in his first shot there, Symington-Lysenko makes the save. The home run pass to Harris goes awry, but he's able to pick up the loose ball off the glass. 17 seconds remains on this shot clock here. Again, The Miners looking to stop this Beaches run. They'll have a chance here. Great movement. Goche in all alone, and he scores. The tremendous Minto Cup tournament continues for Goche.
Well, quiet through the first half of this game, and just as we were wondering about Anderson earlier on, the two are very similar in their play style. That big, aggressive body, and oh man, that Smith again may have gotten away with one there.
I would say so.
But let's focus here on the offense as Matthew Swagger Goche gets it back again.
Jonathan Moore on that goal there.
Yeah, guys, first of all, that was a 5-on-6 there. Beaches had too many men, didn't get seen by the referees. It didn't matter anyways because they scored. And just to confirm, this is Jace Symington-Lysenko in goal from St. Albert for Edmonton. Again, I think it's more of just a chance to give your team a fresh start. Obviously pays off with the goal, but I don't think anything is Melanchuk, I think he's been playing really well. Nothing that he did wrong.
Well, in a busy night last night and a quick turnaround for Melanchuk again. And if the key game is going to happen tomorrow, maybe you want him as fresh as possible. And it's going to be the 5 p.m. again for the Miners and Victoria, looking ahead to tomorrow's schedule.
I tend to agree with Jonathan as well. It did seem like a momentum changer as well, but you're right as well. Maybe save a little more gas in the tank for that swing game tomorrow. But as Donville confirms, Symington-Lysenko in the net, so the Bird Gang continues to break news, and Collison continues to break twine as he unloads one from the outside. And I think that's a bird bump, considering you said that was going to be a game changer, isn't it, Jonathan? We'll go down to you for this one.
Insider. Kidding aside, another great shot from Collison. Another time shooting through a screen, right? You see a defender right in his face. It's just so hard for the goalie to pick up. If you're Symington-Lysenko, that's the last thing you want to see 2 minutes into a game. You just entered in, and you're getting a shot that you can't even see coming off the hip, and it's going to pipe in.
Well, and who's the guy that sets that up with the screen? It's Willem Firth, the 100-point man that we thought, okay, not the point totals that we're expected to seeing from him, but he's doing tiny little things to help out the offense, like that screen and like taking the attention away from the defense. And that high seal today, like, the Miners just have had no, whether it's left or right side of the floor, the Miners have had no answer for.
The fact that he is, quote unquote undersized as well, the way he can throw those picks is quite remarkable. Jeremy Bailey takes the shot in the back there. I think the Beaches are going to be pleased there, because I think that ball was just going to leak right out to Jack Royer, who would have had a yawning cage. Harlan with it now, the Halton Hills Junior B Bulldog product. Gets that over to Firth on the far side. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Gaston, don't know if his stick hooked there, but certainly not how he drew it up. His push is going to push the ball up the floor. A little spin move on Ferry. Ferry, again, one of these top defenders, not just for the Beaches, but in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, up for the Defender of the Year. And I certainly think he was one of many defenders on this Beaches team that was probably in discussions to be a nominee. And we're going to get some rough stuff here, as it looks like Marcus Needham mixing it up here with Taylor Dooley, I believe. We'll get a look here.
Beaches are arguing the fact that this is going to be 4-on-4, and trying to see if there's anything that kind of starts this. Big screen, perhaps a hold. Cross check from Raposo. It's not anywhere close. Thought Bowen, and the bench thought that Bowen was the aggressor too. As you can see, Beach's defender just kind of backing away in Dooley. But it is going to be Dooley and Needham here taking a seat.
Again, a lot of the officials here have been electing to just put both players aside and even things up.
Well, they get a chance to reset after the day, too. Have their officials meeting with everybody. Shane Hubbard, the RIC, in place of Ian Garrison.
And as we say that, no evening up here. Shovel shot as Harris is pushed down to the turf, and I think we might get an extra on here as Robinson sends his man to the turf.
Player that got hit is up.
Robinson, another one of these players that...
So the initial penalty from Riley Lowe looks like he just signaled to Bales that he had a cross-check originally and then whatever else.
Whoa.
6-minute power play.
It's a 6-minute power play.
Good luck, Chris Main, our graphics operator.
And this is a huge opportunity for Edmonton. As we see that little shovel, that was great. And then Robinson here, the hit from behind.
Might even be lucky that that's a 4. But a massive opportunity right now for Edmonton, not just in this game, but this tournament.
And keep in mind, Robinson and Dooley both on the first unit for the penalty. Going to be back in as the Miners will continue to gain possession here.
And all of a sudden, the spice volume has just been cranked up 8 notches in this game, too.
Working things around, outside shot from Harris. Normally down on the crease, but he's playing that shooter role. Raposo, he's going to take this to the net instead. Little lob pass there to Phoenix Lefebvre, and Ferry's slow to run to the bench there. That's something you do not want to see if you're a Beaches fan. Collison gets that bounce pass with a swim.
Got yet another late check on his way off.
Anderson with 4 already in his stick. Collison, big shot, low to high, reset, and it's Willem Firth picking up that loose ball. And he gets thrown to the ground, and we're going to get a penalty here from the Miners.
Alex Lemieux got high in the face mask of Firth. May have sold it a little bit. We'll have to get another look if we can, but going to even the numbers here, perhaps.
Anderson bounced behind the back pass. Feed to the corner from Firth. As Accioni gets the shot off, and Palmer tried to pick up the garbage and put it away. But here we're going to get that rough, as you mentioned, to Lemieux.
Is it a major or it's not? How do you get a double minor for one action?
So we'll be looking at the right-hand side of your screen here with Lemieux, and watch as Firth cuts back behind. Lemieux's going to come in late. And it's the second one to the chin cup.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for me. The ball is long gone. He initially finishes his check.
Yeah.
If that's the initial penalty, that not calling that there.
I was about to say in real time that looked a lot worse, but that's because that's not what happened.
Exactly.
So.
But then you see that second shove, the officials absolutely have to call that.
Well, and especially at this point in the game when you're already handing out back-to-back deuces, so.
Hickey somehow picks that off the board. Here's a couple of white shirts around him. He fires it over to Anderson, and that one's going to be over and back. Hickey's going to stay on the floor here. Quick reset. And Hickey's going to give a healthy whack there. He didn't like the extra shot there on his goalie. But again, we are 4-on-4 for a minute and 28 seconds, but there's still 4 minutes left on the Robinson 6 minute. He had 4 and 2, which equals 6. I know, big math guy.
Attaboy.
Didn't have to use my calculator there. Outside shot, picked up, loose ball from Dalton. As Accioni, Matt Accioni, the captain for this Beaches team. Firth with it now. Firth Working the ball around. Collison with a big shot. That one's not going to be over and back as it goes off the goalie. Jonathan has a word here. Jonathan. We're going to get to Jonathan real quick as we get a quick restart as Palmer puts on the Jets, gets it down low. 24 seconds still on the shot clock. Palmer with it now. Takes the outside shot. That one's turned aside there by Symington Lysenko.
Got a sneaking suspicion Jonathan knows what's about to happen here on the Miners power play.
Jonathan, let us know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about what Miners are doing, but on Beach's focus here is tighter box. So what I'm seeing there is they're worried that the ball movement's going to hurt them more than the outside shots. Willing to give up the outside shots a little bit more. See, it's still 2.5 minutes here for the Miners.
And the tight box bites them there as the outside shot from Jack Royer finds the back of the nets. It's an 8-6 game in favor of the Beach.
Yeah, my attention was on Goche down on the crease because I was wondering if the tighter box would give him more room to work with in the corner, but as the crease defender, Jeremy Phoenix Lefebvre, was taking care of him, this shot by Royer skips off the turf, and Royer came in second in points in the regular season and in the playoffs. Royer behind Bowen, 68 points through 15 games regular season and 10 points back of Goche in the playoffs, and really kind of waiting for him to explode here in this tournament as well to sort of help boost that offense, especially going left and right side away from what Goche is offering.
And how about that release? It looked like he was going to go overhand, and last second he changes planes like he does there, but this time Johnson's there to read that one and makes a big chicken wing save with the left arm.
Well, every team in practice will line up in a horseshoe and just take shots.
And again, this time he goes 3/4 underhand.
Even when they were doing that yesterday, the coaching staff, I don't know if it was Rick Schlocklin or Ben Snyder, was giving guys tips and said, hey, you're telegraphing that float shot. Do this, try this. What if you do this on this shot? It's going to give the goalie another look. And guys were mixing things up. Even the simple thing like the horseshoe when they're just warming up the goaltenders.
Oh my goodness, what a feed from Johnson. And its shot goes wide from Gaston. What an unbelievable chance there. But the Beaches are going to pick up the loose ball as it's once again Dalton, who again, we're not keeping loose ball stats, but he certainly would be near the top after.
What a tournament for Dalton.
About a game and a half. He has been electric here for the Beaches.
Again, a guy with an opportunity coming in at the trade deadline from KW, who won, one game all season, 2 in the regular season in the OJLL.
Playing with Peterborough before that. Backdoor feed, nothing coming of it. And time is going to expire as the Toronto Beaches hold on to an 8-6 lead here after 40 minutes of play from the CA Center. Matt, again, electric action yesterday. Again, already through 2 periods, but it's really building up to be another great day.
Yeah, but you know what? I look down at the floor and you see like outside shots from everywhere going in for the Beaches, and you see Johnson making saves, and you see guys in the penalty box, and you look up at the score, it's still a 2-goal ball game. The Miners are still in it, and again, I believe this is the key factor game here in this tournament for them, and they're going to need a big third.
The Miners are looking for a major comeback, down just 2 goals as the Beaches hold the lead heading into the third frame here on TSN and the OJLL network.
On our family dairy farm, there's a saying that the sun doesn't start the day, we do. It's our daily reminder to be our best, make our best. And that our dairy farm doesn't just take care of our family, it's part of something bigger. That's dairy done right.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
The Minto Cup went missing when Charlie Welsh, the last remaining Minto Cup trustee, suddenly passed away on February 25th, 1938. Aside from not knowing where the actual trophy was hidden, the CLA did not have the legal right to hand out the award to the next season's winner. And unfortunately, Mr. Welsh's wife died just an hour after him, so the line of succession was lost. The CLA had to write a letter to the Lord of Minto in Scotland in order to get legal rights to hand out the trophy. Now that the legal side of the competition was sorted out, the more critical question of where was the cup needed to be resolved. After 7 months of searching, they were finally able to revive the trophy that was hidden in a desk in Charlie Welsh's Harbour Commission office. Finally, in 1940, the trophy was sent to Montreal to be refurbished, and years later, here we are, competing for that same Minto Cup trophy. I'm Mackie Jenner, and that's the history of the Minto Cup.
Jackson Gann, Miners Lacrosse Club, St. Albert, Alberta. Football runs deep in my family. I played for the Brampton Huskies and my dad played there as well. He was an all-star and he played for Simon Fraser as well. And it's been a huge part, and these past few years I've really fallen in love with lacrosse, especially with this team and how close we are. And everyone hangs out with everyone. I've never been a part of a team like this before, and I can't wait to see what we can do. He's taught me everything I've known about sports, and especially in the football aspect, he taught me everything I know. And going into this tournament is just put your head down and grind. Like, it's going to be a long week, and we're here to win games and not just compete. With my speed especially, it's a big part of my game, getting up and down the floor. In football, I'm a defensive back, so that's huge in my part. And just footwork as well, like DBs, it's all footwork, and bringing it to the lacrosse floor. It makes it a lot easier for I can play in any system that I can feel comfortable. And physicality is huge. Like, I love to lay the big hits. I love to be physical. I love to inflict pain. And every lacrosse game is going to be goal scored. It's just part of the game. But we got to minimize our mistakes. Lots of communication out there, and just put in a system for each team we play. Take out their good players and see what we can do. Our head coach has done a great job flipping this organization around and bringing us in, and how we can go against any team and compete. And we truly believe that we are going to be the better team.
Lucas Littlejohn, Whitby Warriors Junior Lacrosse Club.
Welcome back inside the CAA Center, where the Toronto Beaches hold an 8-6 lead, but the Miners are chugging back, and it's great plays like this from Luke Bowen, who goes behind the back, an unbelievable highlight reel goal. We'll take a look on how we got to this point, to an 8-6 game, Matt, between the Beaches of Toronto and the Edmonton Miners. And it looks like we'll have to take a look at those later, because we're ready to go. Third period underway here from Brampton at the 2022 Minto Cup Championship. As mentioned, the Miners are the champions of the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, and the finalists of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Toronto Beaches squaring off. The Beaches looking for their second victory. The Miners looking to avoid going 0-2. Shot comes from the outside as this penalty for the Beaches is going to expire, and Robinson's going to head back out onto the floor. Miners with the outside shot, another big stop from Johnson. He's been so good so far in this tournament. Robinson and Raposo, 2-on-1. Raposo with it, puts on the brakes, takes the shot, and that one somehow does not find in the back of the net, as Symington Lysenko got lucky there with the left glove save. He looks like he's holding his hand there, or maybe he's just looks super comfortable.
That's just natural position, which doesn't look all that natural, but
I love the swagger. Hopefully it isn't. And again, another Callan Harris crease dive. Nothing coming of it. We're going to send it down to Jonathan Donville, our rinkside reporter.
Yeah, guys, got a cool story from Coach Lintz here. So Luke Bowen wearing number 99, we talked about yesterday. So according to Coach Lintz, they got these jerseys 5 years ago, and no one wore the jersey for 5 years. Luke Bowen was a junior B player last year. Cuts called up. There's 3 free jerseys. The veterans on the team force him to wear 99. He scores a hat trick in his first game, and now it's stuck.
Shot coming from the outside there. And okay, you know what? Fair play. Love when the rookies get forced into things like that. And
thank you, veterans. If there's a hattie in the jersey, I'll wear it all day long.
Absolutely. If the glove fits or if the jersey fits, we'll go with. So no way he's going to change that. So Luke Bowen, I apologize. Keep rocking 99. That's okay in my books. Miners fighting for the loose ball, but not without the Beaches with a hard back check there from Collison. And again, with the shorter change here, Jonathan, maybe we see a little more of an aggressive forecheck from this Beaches defense.
Yeah, it really comes down to how they're judging their own energy level. Definitely a slower pace now than it was at the start of yesterday. Just these guys are gassed already. More of attrition, as we were talking about. If they think they can keep it up, expect them to be aggressive.
Raposo on the run, puts on the brakes, spinorama, takes the shot, goes through the legs, and he cannot buy one. As again, another opportunity. It is only a matter of time until the Johns Hopkins Blue Jay finds the back of the twine here. Harris tries to feed the middle. No one's there, but the ball goes into the corner. Peterkin gonna battle for it now with Jack Royer. Loose ball picked up now from who else but Andrew Dalton.
And Raposo walked to the bench and hung his head and stood right next to Damon Edwards, a good transition player in his own right. Just tapped him on the back because, you know, we know that goal was coming. And it's going to be a matter of time here in this tournament. I think Damon Edwards realizes it as well, even if Raposo does not right at the moment.
Raposo, one of the leaders on this team. Hickey with the outside shot. That one goes too high, and the clock going to expire here, but an extra shove there from Ronan Push. Nothing coming of it as Clifford Gaston runs to the bench here, but the Miners have some work to do. Down 2, we saw them come back and tie the game against Whitby in the third period, so certainly a comeback not out of question for this pesky Edmonton team. Harris with it now, goes across the top. Hard pick there from Gauthier, goes behind the back, tries to find his man, Jake Bowen on the crease. Possession gonna stay here now with the Miners. Harris going to start things off, driving down to the creases. We've seen him do so much in the last
How about that
game
goal
in
from
2
last
periods.
night?
Oh my God, that was gross. We'll see if there's a opportunity there, but again, Will Johnson has been nothing short of brilliant here at the Minto Cup so far. Anderson, he has the ball now, wearing his Yale gloves instead of those red, black, and white ones that he was donning yesterday. Might see his Haudenosaunee gloves a little later on. Smith gets it back up to the top. Minor's gonna reset here. Still a lot of clock left for them to get to work here on 5-on-5. Gauthier with the shot goes wide. Push on the back. The Beach is gonna pick it up here, and who else but Jackson Raposo is gonna lead the charge and said he's gonna slow things down, but he might take a shot here. He does. That one goes wide and hits Willem Firth. Might be a fine. Loose ball down on the turf as Firth picks that one up.
I think it might have hit Creewoken before it got to Firth, so if it's a fine, I'm appealing.
Take the toonie out of the jar. Anderson. Skip pass to the corner to Firth. These two have been connecting cross floor east-west, but not connecting there. As the Miners are going to pick this up, they have to get this over as that 8-second clock is not quite there. As they get it over, both these teams certainly not struggling with that 8 count as they have wheels out the back door. Luke Bowen gets that down to the corner over to Royer. Royer, outside shot, takes that there. Rebound picked up and scores! Jake Bowen. Johnny on the spot, grabs the rebound, puts that home, brings the Miners within 1.
Yeah, but it starts with a nifty little shot from Royer, who's really coming alive here in this game. And again, we said that's what they need. He's got that field style. Oh, there's a guy definitely sitting in the crease there. We'll have to see if he's pushed in. It looks like a cross check that gets him in there, though. So I wonder if that would stand up even in the NLL. Again, no video review here in the Minto Cup, but Jake Bowen, as you said, Johnny on the spot to get that off the end boards, and a quick shot, and Jonathan Donville has more from downstairs.
Yeah, you said it pretty well, Matty. Beach is obviously not happy about that call. Thought it should have been guy in the crease. Tough break, I guess, for Beaches, but it seemed like the right call from my angle. He did get cross-checked into the crease, but certainly not happy on the Beaches side.
Beach is certainly not happy, but Luke Magnan, one of the defensive coaches for this team, settling his team down, said, what's done is done. Can't come of anything now. Quick chance here in transition, behind the back.
Bowen got caught on his wrong side, or excuse me, that's Needham that got caught on his wrong side and had to come up with something in a hurry.
Miners here as Gauthier gets it down to Harris. Harris back over to those righties. Gauthier behind the back, picks up his own rebound. Again, gonna have another chance, but Caden Hewitt's all over him. And Phoenix Lefebvre with a great slide there, shot from the outside. And that is just tremendous defense. Take a replay here of this great chance behind the back beauty. Just not enough finesse as it hits Johnson right in the chest. Beaches with an opportunity here. Their lead now just 1. 12 and a half to go here in regulation. Palmer looks, doing some window shopping. Firth has it now. Back up top to Collison. Collison with the outside shot. That one almost trickles through. But the Miners get a lucky bounce here. Push brings it up the floor. Over to Bowen. Bowen to Gauthier. Gauthier back over to Bowen. Bowen drives the net. That one's turned aside by Johnson. Loose ball down on the turf. Accioni and Dalton battling. push call there on the Miners. So the Beach is going to start with the ball here. It's going to be Liam McKay, who was picked up in a trade from Brampton in the offseason. Has been a great depth piece for this Beaches team. A lot of fast and furious players. Where you see Liam McKay plays more of that old school stay-at-home style of defender which you need. And I know Luke Magnan and Damon Edwards kind of have their own blend of lacrosse. Damon Edwards more of that transition run and gun. Luke Magnan, a smart veteran defender who plays the stay-at-home game. Feed to the middle. There's a shot turned aside from Will Johnson. A great opportunity there. But the Beaches goaltender keeps this still a one-goal game. Dooley, tightly contested. Great defense there. He's got to be careful. One hand on the stick as Chris Harlan picks up the ball, finds Robinson, and here come the Beaches. 2-on-1. Robinson with the shot. That one's turned away by the foot of Symington Lysenko. Jackson Raposo in a little bit of trouble here. The no-looker goes to Palmer. Jonathan Donville, our rinkside reporter, with more.
Yeah, Coach O'Connor not happy with his group right now, imploring them to have some more mental toughness, also telling Willem Firth on the bench to be more aggressive, look for 14, to look to get one here quickly.
As you said that he got under a defender, I thought we're going to get a bird bump yet again here in this game.
Bouncing ball, not able to be corralled by the goaltender. Instead, it's going to be Shivers, who battles through a couple of hard checks there. Shivers goes to Newberry College. Again, one of these programs that just loves their Canadian talent in the D2 ranks. Dodge attempt there from Bowen as Accioni gets blown up on the back. So the Beaches are going to get possession here. Phoenix Lefebvre fires that one over to Anderson. Anderson having quite the evening here for the Beaches. 4 goals, 1 assist. Firth with it now. Inside feed to Hickey. Hickey takes that shot, but it's turned aside from Symington Lysenko. Inside feed on the transition break. Great move and scores!
Johnson's going to do everything he can to try and keep this out. And they want to grab the ball here as well. So have to see if that's a trophy goal for somebody down there on the bench. I wonder if Jonathan Donville can find out. But Jackson Ganton did such a good job on defense there, posturing up against Anderson.
2 goals! 2 goals!
Fans here saw the replay. We couldn't see the goal line here.
Brutal.
But it looked like it came straight down, and the tying goal has the fans talking here at the CAA Center.
Having a Jumbotron in the building is certainly
advantages and disadvantages.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Collison with an outside rip. That one hits off the throat guard. And the Beaches playing with a little bit of jam here as they are now tied. Gaston with a shot. That one's blocked. And as I mentioned, Symington Lysenko takes that one off the throat guard. He's going to try to see if he can get that fixed.
So again, for the Miners that lost yesterday, as we get a look at the goal from the slow-mo. This will show. Oh, even on that bounce, can't really tell.
One before. He was in the crease.
We'll go down to the man in between the benches, Jonathan Donville. Jonathan.
Yeah, the message for Beaches there is stop worrying about the officiating. I think both teams getting a little bit caught up here in the officiating game. Message from the Beaches bench pretty clear. Who cares? Go make some tougher plays and go get this done. And if you're Edmonton, I thought they were a little flat, honestly, in the first period. Needed some momentum, and now 8-8 with a couple minutes to go here. Couldn't have asked for a better spot after a bit of a slow start. And how about Semenko in the goal, jumping in and really locking it down, shutting the door. This Edmonton defense is just so stout at 5-on-5 for your Beaches. You know, aside from getting on the power play, maybe try to turn up the tempo again, try to get out in transition, but Semenko's been great in transition, just not much happening against this Miners 5-on-5 defense, which is so stout and really just forcing a lot of outside shots. He just has to find a way to get to the goal.
So the Miners that lost yesterday, if we can go back to it, the Beaches are 1-0. I think if you get 2 wins in this tournament, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself a spot, at least in the semifinal game, which comes up on Thursday. Top seed will get a bye to the final, and you don't want to go down 0-2 because then you kind of need some help to extend your tournament. So huge 9 minutes coming up, and one of our extra looks here looked like on the initial bounce, kind of bounced over the line off the crossbar and straight down. So as I was looking at it again, I thought I did see some daylight behind the line on the first bounce before it actually hit the crossbar.
Raposo picking up that loose ball off the boards. No fast break opportunity, so Raposo's going to pass it to his offense and get off the floor. As Hickey has it now, the big lefty. Gets it down to the other big lefty who tries to feed Willem Firth on the inside. Anderson with it now. Spin move, takes the shot. That one just misses the low corner. Collison can't hold on to that ball, so they're not going to get a shot here as the 30-second clock expires. Miners with it now. Gauthier starting things off. He's going to take this one wide. Taylor Dooley, who's had himself a great game, hard checked on him. Miners with it now, inside feed to the crease, running out of space there as Peterkin playing some solid D. 9 seconds on the clock. Gauthier with it now, back down low into the corner, coming around the top. Shot coming from the outside, and there is a reset. That goes off Willem Johnston's toe, and Gauthier picks up the loose ball. They'll have a fresh 30. Outside shot again, another big save from Johnston. He is approaching 50 saves here this evening, and again, a guy who has been tremendous from start to finish this season, but he has picked up his game here in the Minto Cup. Palmer with it now. He had 2 yesterday, including 1 in overtime. Anderson takes that outside shot. That one's blocked. And great job by Firth. He gets back in transition to the bench. No fast break opportunity for the Miners.
That shot went right off the back of Palmer, so the last one was $2. That's got to be at least a 5.
Callan Harris with it now. He's deadly. Looking, dodging, back up top. Shot from the outside again. Will Johnston with a big save. He's just going to flip that there to his defender, Andy Dalton. Not the Red Rocket Andy Dalton. Andrew Dalton, who has been a stout defender for this Beaches team since being picked up late in the season. Firth down low to Collison. Collison lowers the shoulder, takes that bounce shot. That one's blocked. 2 seconds on the clock. Anderson tries to throw a prayer as he's mixing it up with one of the Miners players. Nothing coming of it though. Him and Matthew McFadden mixing it up. Basisti with it now. To Gauthier, who has been nothing short of an electric factory here in Brampton so far early in this tournament. We'll see if he still has some flair for the dramatic. 4 seconds left on the clock. Little shovel feed doesn't come of anything here as Will Johnson makes an easy grab with the spoon. Dooley bringing it over center. Gaston takes it down low. The RIT Tiger up top to Accioni. To Firth. Firth down to Collison. Collison looking for his options. He sees one in Gaston. Gaston takes the shot. That one's going to be after the horn, but nothing coming of that one. 5 minutes to go. 8-8 the score between the Miners and the Toronto Beaches. Beaches looking to stay a perfect 2-0 The team from Edmonton looking to even up their tournament record at 1-1. Great defense there by Phoenix Lefebvre. Driving, taking that shot there is Jake Bowen. Ball picked up there from Dalton. Quick restart there. Dalton has Firth. He's waiting. Elects to pull that one out and not try to feather the beautiful pass in there. Instead, smart play from a smart defender. Firth down low in the corner. Comes over top. And it's a huge hit on Firth. He takes another extra shot on the ground there from McFadden. Beach is still with it now. Collison with the outside shot. Loose ball picked up there from Shivers. Another big loose ball there from the Edmonton, Alberta defender.
Man, down the stretch here, Matthew McFadden has really stepped up his game on the defensive side. Took care of Anderson the last trip down the floor and absolutely bowled over Willem Firth that time.
Dooley fighting through a hard pick there. He gets out. Ball picked up by Peterkin. Peterkin's going to push pace. He's got Raposo with him. And that's going to be too many men. Raposo with the shot. That one just goes right into the stick of Symington Lysenko. Too many men is the call here. And head coach John Lintz has a few choice words for Jeremy Bailey, as the too many men call going to come here with 3:42 remaining in regulation. The Beaches with a glorious opportunity to take a lead here. We'll get a great look, Matt, here.
Trying to count guys here as they run off. Yeah, that's way early.
Like impossibly early, to be quite honest.
Well, it is possible. I'm wondering, does Ronan push? I wasn't going to say much about it. He was getting some treatment, and it was right close to the door. So normally guys will either take the back side of the seat or they'll go right off into the corner. And as they came up the floor there, someone just jumped way too early.
Jonathan will be pleased to see Willem Firth down in the corner there, so maybe some magic here. He cuts to the middle. Collison, outside shot. That one goes off the pipe as he beats the Miners goaltender but can't find Twine. Reset here as the Beaches will get again. This time now Firth up at the top. Hickey down in the corner. Accioni to Anderson. Firth with it now, back over, skip past Collison, looking, waiting. Firth on his wrong side. Skip past Anderson, looking, takes the shot. He can't beat that 5-hole as the Miners just about killed off the first half of this penalty.
Yeah, and Jonathan may have a better feel down there at the bench, but it feels like the Miners are more into this game right now. They were all over that defensive set. Sticks are out. They're standing up and they're absolutely cheering on everybody. It feels like they've got more of a vibe over on their bench.
Shot there goes a rebound almost. Picked up there, but here comes Dalton. Dalton's smart decision slows things down, and with a little bit of an opportunity here, we'll send it down to Jonathan Donville, who has more.
Yeah, Firth low here again. Expect maybe look for that same play with him. Hickey setting the seal and Firth coming right over top of it.
We'll see. Firth has the ball over to Collison. Collison skip to Anderson. Anderson fakes, pulls it back. Collison fake, takes the shot. That one goes wide.
Well, they got the play, Jonathan, but Connor Cook absolutely blew it up. He stood right in front of the seal and got right in the passing lane and then forced a double team on the high shooter as well.
2 minutes remaining in regulation. We're tied at 8 apiece between the RMLL Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League champions, the Miners, and the Toronto Beaches, the finalists of the Ontario Finals. This has been an unbelievable game. Shot goes. We almost have a short-handed goal there as time was just about to expire as Harris comes out on the floor. 1:30 to go. Peterkin marks his man. Fade away. Oh, that back door was wide open. But a great stick there from Ferry to break it up. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Gauthier with a great chance. But surprise, surprise. It's Will Johnston who shuts the door.
That's Gauthier finding Basisti right on the crease, and as you said, it's Johnston again.
Basisti is a little bit of a quiet first 2 periods, but he's starting to come alive here. Hickey looking, finds the back door with Gaston, not able to grab it, but Palmer does. 5 seconds on the clock. Firth takes the shot and scores!
And then afterwards, McFadden up in the face of, I think that may have been Firth. And there were some words, but that is a monster goal from the only player in Beach's history to score 50 in a season in which he also had 100 points. Bit of a scramble play off the initial shot. You can see Firth gets wide open, wants it. The initial low fake kind of freezes everybody in their tracks, and then the high shot goes just under the bar. Might have hit the stick actually on second look from Hudson Shivers.
Big players come up in big moments, and Willem Firth could not have come in a bigger moment as the Toronto Beaches win the face-off violation as Reese Barnes went a little early. Bounce pass, risky from David Anderson as he gets the ball to Accioni. Accioni and Anderson playing a little bit of catch there. 14 seconds on the shot clock, 29 left on the game clock. Anderson with it now. He takes it down low, one hand on his stick, twister, that one goes wide. So the Miners here going to have an opportunity with 19.9 seconds. No doubt they are going to take a timeout and try to chalk things up to tie this thing up at 9.
They're going to put 0.6 extra on the clock, 20.5. As we take another look at this goal that has given them the lead. And yesterday was Palmer getting the goal in overtime. Today it might be Willem Firth. They get one from an unsung hero yesterday, and they get one from the hero here at huge moments.
Speaking of big moments, a player who has played in these big moments, Jonathan Donville, our rinkside reporter. We'll send it down to you for more.
Yeah, didn't catch exactly what they're looking for here, but just based on what they do really well, I expected some sort of off-ball up pick, get one of their guys rolling through the middle here. Definitely going to go right away here, and they got to press. It's no going back here for Edmonton. Goalie's empty. Expect it to stay empty. Nobody's going to run back to the bench. They need the ball back immediately if they can't get it to go.
This is what it's all about. This is what you play for. The Miners looking to avoid going 0-2 in the Minto Cup, while the Beaches looking to continue to build off their historic day, winning their first game in their first trip to the Minto, and try to go 2-0 to start the Canadian Junior A National Championship. And it's going to be Marcus Needham who starts with the ball, running quickly down the floor. Miners going to start this one right away. Quick stick attempt turned aside, loose ball. That one doesn't go out as Ferry can't pick it up. Neither can Robinson. Ball down on the turf. It's picked up. Takes the shot. That one's blocked. Another chance, and it's another block, and again. The Beaches dig deep and avoid the comeback from the Miners. The Toronto Beaches stay a perfect 2-0 here at the 2020 Minto Cup.
Well, you said the word dig deep. The Miners did that yesterday. They do it again today. And I mean, they are just coming up just short as they drop to 0-2, and they'll get Victoria needing a win tomorrow. But how about this Beaches team? I mean, we said it. It was kind of the unsung other players yesterday. Anderson comes alive today. Willem Firth in a big moment. And the supporting cast around them. This Beaches team seems to be getting better and better as this tournament goes on. Getting their legs back under them after the 2 weeks and coming together as a team at a critical point in this playoffs because they'll be facing Whitby tomorrow night in our primetime matchup, which could be, depending what Whitby does here tonight, for that top spot.
You have to feel for this Miners team, man. They deserve a better fate with the way that they've played these last 2 games. You feel like they deserve at least 1 win, if not 2. But the Beaches find a way to come up here with a 1-goal victory, and it does not happen without the play of Will Johnson. 55 saves on 63 shots. He was tremendous. Another Capital Region product coming up big here in the Minto Cup. And the Beaches, first trip to the Minto, and they are 2-0 to start. The Miners, again, you mentioned that game against Victoria is going to be life and death for them here at this tournament. And we now wait to see who wins the MVP for both teams here, and boy, I do not envy those who have to pick here.
David Anderson, I think, for the Beaches.
On the Toronto Beaches, please give a big round of applause to number 15, David Anderson.
There you go, David Anderson. As we mentioned, the grandson of the legendary Gaylord Palace. But he is making his own legacy here at the Minto Cup. Again, a tremendous game for him. 4 goals, 1 assist.
Number 12, Jack Royer.
And Jack Royer, 1 goal, 2 assists, but he did so much more, Matt, than just put the ball in the net and set things up offensively. A great game for Royer.
Again, part of the supporting cast of this offense that we were really waiting for to explode yesterday. And if Royer starts to get going along with Harris and Goche, you can see why this Miners offense is so dangerous. But they're going to need everybody at 100% tomorrow.
There's no doubt about that. And the good news here, Lacrosse fans, you only have to wait just over an hour for more lacrosse here on TSN and the OJLL YouTube, as we'll have the Whitby Warriors taking on the Victoria Shamrocks. We'll see you in just an hour time. Thanks for tuning in here on TSN.ca and the OJLL YouTube.